Hello everybody, this is Tina and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a wonderful day to be creating with you. Today I'm sharing one of my 5-minute little tips or techniques that I have to kind of help you in your crafting. I am falling in love with stencils. I love all the added details. I recently shared briefly that I cut apart my stencils and I had a lot of people asking questions about that. So I wanted to share this with you. This stencil right here that I'm now showing in the 4 parts is our Dream Maker stencil. And at the time of this video, which is June 20th, give or take, both of the stencils that I'm going to feature in the video were available, and you can get those details on my Close to My Heart website at tinalaw.closetomyheart.com, but I'll pop all the links in the description of this video. So this one was a real easy cut. I just used my straight cutter and it pretty much lined up at 6 and I cut them 6 by 6. I find this so much easier to use than this size. Now I'm going to show you how I cut apart my stencils for storage, but I do want to share with you just a quick tip as to why. These, the grid, the polka dots, this one I'm slightly obsessed with, and the little slash lines, those I call textures or backgrounds, and all 3 of these I would put with my textured backgrounds, stamps and in my stamps and my Stampin' Thing cuts. And a great way to store them is you can pick up our Close to My Heart envelopes and they will slide right inside our envelopes. And then you could just maybe give them a little label or mark them that these are your stencils for textured backgrounds. And this one here though is leaves. And I would put this one with my florals and my leaves. Being able to break up the stencil and group them or file them or organize them, however you want to tag that, with like products means when I go to look for these types of things, I'm going to find them, so I'm going to use them more often. Okay, the one I'm going to show you how I would kind of do my little tips on taking this apart is from, I've already been taking these apart, but it is from the stencils. This is Pack One. It's Z6091, but I'll put the details in there. I love this stencil. Now, like I said, I've already been taking it apart, but there are so many on here. There are Hello Sunshine. Look at this leaf. This one here is really pretty. I definitely will be pulling this one out when I do some upcoming Hawaii layouts. The Explore that does the gradient Explore, that's on there. Sunshines. Look at this sunset with the birds. There's so many, and there's a whole nother sheet. These were off of just one sheet, and there's even more. There's a bark background and a wave background, but the bark background in particular. And then there's just so many wonderful little arrows and different things. This one here says, live, love, travel. There's a suitcase. There's an overlay for the city. There's maps to go in the back. I like that. This kind of shows like a city map for if you're in the city. And then there's this little grid here. I would divide this. I wouldn't put all of these in the same place necessarily. The sun ones I would put with my beach. There was a seashell border on this as well that you're really going to have some fun with. It's like I can see the future sometimes, right? This one here, I might put a little bit more of these with travel, but I probably would not put this. So I hope that makes a little sense, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. So you can cut them with the straight cutter if they divide evenly. But if they don't, sometimes you need to get around. Now, I'm guessing I'm going to be able to line this suitcase up right here with a Close to My Heart Cricut cut and get a lot out of that. But I'm just going to go ahead and for this one, I'm going to use my scissors. Now, you can do your straight cutter if you would like, and you can always use a Sharpie to mark out where you want to cut to make the cutting a little more visible for you. All right, and I'm just going to now cut right across this way. I'm trying to make sure that I give myself some place to put my tape, because putting tape down with your stencils is big, but they don't even have to be straight. And that's what I wanted to kind of show you with using the scissors. I know that a few of my stencils are nice and straight because I use my straight cutter, but if you find that process to be, I don't know, maybe like a little more difficult to see or anything like that, just go ahead and use scissors. All right, I'm making sure that I never cut any part that the stencil, the portion where you have your cutout stencil, you don't ever want to cut any of that. So I'll look at this a couple times, and then what I'm doing right here is I'm feeling where my blade is going to cut. And by doing that, if I don't feel anything, I know that when I cut that blade, or when I put that blade through and cut it, I'm not cutting anything that I'm not supposed to cut. And we'll just go up, and there we go. All done. This can go pretty quickly. We're turning. Same thing, because they can be close. And sometimes I have to use my scissors because they get as many things as they can on, close to my heart does, on these cut throughs and, or on these stencils. And I don't want to cut through any of them, but because of that, you know, they're not always perfectly laid out. All right. I like that little just finger trick. All right. And then our final one. And I try to do it every time if I can. And there you go. So now all my stencils are cut apart, and because they are smaller, they're going to be easier to use. I'll be able to get them out, and they're also easier to clean. So you gotta love that. And now I'll be able to put these in a nice travel one, and I will add that with my travel stamp and thin cuts. And I have a guest. Here we go. I will add these to my travel stamp and thin cuts. Now, sometimes you'll have a couple that are a little big and they might not fit in there. And those are the ones that if you use our cards and envelopes, it's a great size. But those are the ones I just grab a bigger bag for, and I stick those in there and I just relabel them. And they'll just, you know, I could even trim them down sometime. You'll just pop them in the bag. But our bags that our cards and envelopes come in, they're a great size for the ones that are a little bit larger. Most of these are a little bigger than the average ones, but I cannot wait to use every single one of them. I hope that you have found this tip helpful, and I really hope that it helps you to craft and use your stencils more often. If you found the information that I've shared today useful, hit that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can join us and follow us all on our wonderful crafting journey that we're going to have here on the Creating With You YouTube page. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.